time consumer. I mean, you got to take care of them. You got to clean up after them. You got to keep them, take them from one side of the yard to the other and back to the other, to keep them out from. The biggest problem is poop, right? I mean,
Right.
Poop all the time. If you're willing to clean that up, I might have a picture of it. So we also have an aviary with doves that we kind of covered in wisteria.
Look at this.
And then to the right there, you'll
Beautiful.
see the little chicken coop I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
See the redwood
Yep.
kind of
Yeah, that's great.
coop there. I'll send you all of these. But,
Yeah,
I mean,
please do.
it just, I don't know. You can use what you can or whatever, but.
Absolutely.
And then I'd say am I rushing through too fast?
No.
I'd
You
say
go
that
at your own pace.
our other biggest passion is our grandkids.
Well, tell me about your kids.
Well,
And
my
where they're at.
actually we have we have one son, stepson for me.
Mm-hmm.
The guy on the phone. Remember?
Ah.
I'm talking to my girlfriend. I didn't tell you that he was the son.
Look at that. All right.
He was 18 years old. She had him very young and got divorced. But so they lived together. And when I got back from Arabia, as Mr. Swinging Bachelor, I bought a Toyota Supra Turbo. You remember what the Supra Turbos were? Those
in '88 too.
Those were the nice, the fancy.
What color was it?
It was.
I always think of these in these brownish ones.
There
Yes.
you go. Yeah,
And it's a turbo too. Yeah.
It was a very sweet car.
Yeah, those are sweet.
So I go driving up.
I had an MR2, an '85. That was my first car when I moved to California.
Those were peppy little cars.
It was in 2002 that I got it, but I bought it off a little old lady from Pasadena.
Oh, you didn't have it in '85.
No. I was a little kid in '85. Yeah. But sorry, you're Supra.
No. So I drive up for the first date,
Mm-hmm.
and he opens the door. 6'3", 220-pound kid. Yeah. I says, yeah, I'm Costa. I'm here. See your mom, pick her up, going out to eat. Is that your car? I go, yeah. You want to drive it? Yeah. Hand him the keys. He goes running down the driveway to the car and jumps in.
Nice.
And goes peeling out. And his mom comes running out there. What the hell is going on? Where's my son? Did you meet my son? I said, yeah, he just drove off in my car.
You have a hell of a way of ingratiating yourself.
What are you talking about? You just gave me my son.
He doesn't have his license, though.
Yeah. Oh, he was 18.
Um,
I think that you're right. I think that did ingratiate. But he had a son out of wedlock. That was our first grandson.
mm-hmm.
With a girl that already had a son. So all of a sudden we had two grandkids,
Mm-hmm.
simply right away. We lived down in Cyprus. Do you know where Cyprus is?
Yes.
On your Long Beach. My wife was coming up here every week to see this little grandkid.
Mm-hmm.
Every weekend she was gone. And then her mom, who lived in Ventura, got sick at the same time. So it was like, forget it. I'm not going to ever see her again. So we're driving back from, I think, the kid's first month birthday party or something. And I said, what do you think about moving up here? My job was down there.
Mm-hmm.
I traveled all over California and Nevada and Arizona doing my job.
Right.
My office was down in that area, in Long Beach area. She said, you don't really want to do that. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll commute and deal with all of that if you save the weekends for me,
Right.
Yeah, I worked for about 2 months
Mm-hmm.
until we started babysitting.
Right.
And then the grandkids became our lives. But, it was a very, very good part of our life. Anyways, here they are, full grown. The one on the left is the son that was already, and then the tall one in the back is the youngest, eldest, and then the one on the right is the youngest.
Halloween. No, I'm kidding. Nice Christmas photo.
Ugly Christmas sweater.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Being facetious.
But great kids. All football players, successful football players.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, the youngest is at the University of Utah now. He's a quarterback.
Wow.
And
Jeez, that's a good pedigree.
There's a pretty good chance that he will start.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's a really good kid. So we might be going up there in a couple of weeks to go see him.
And it's not a bad place to have to go.
Yeah, Salt Lake City. I don't know. I understand they're having lots of COVID problems.
Yeah, it's all the news has changed the last few days to things going awry in different spots. I think because people do give me I've had potential patients call every day, every other day, ask, and then when I say, oh, happy to see you, happy to run your insurance benefits, whatever, and but just so you know, we're not currently open. We're not actively seeing patients in person, and I'd say 1 out of every 5 calls or so gets antagonistic, and it's a bummer. Why? What do you got a problem with all this stuff? Really buy into all this? I'm like,
You mean they turn it into? Oh, geez.
Yeah, they turn it into it becomes some sort of almost political debate. And I said,
doing this for you, dude.
yeah, I said, listen, the one thing we can count on right now is that we're learning a lot of new information all the time, and the scene that we saw in March to June to August to now is all very different, and we're learning a lot. We still have a lot to learn, and I don't think we're close to done. So if I have the ability to take the option to exercise extreme caution, then I will do that. And we are considered an essential business, and we can be open if we want to. But it's also our prerogative to not. That's where we've been.
Social media, but it is what it is. But it's words. It's words on paper. The people that are a little bit more capable of writing well, sound better and look better. But I always thought that the way you wrote up one of your first Smile Jam COVID,
I remember you talking about
describing what it is and how that was going to change what was going on and what you hope people would be willing to do and everything was one of the best approaches that I've seen on this whole business.
Well, thank you.
It was calm, it was centered, it was focused, it was realistic, it was practical, it was factual, and it never made any sort of political statement or anything else that says we're all here, we're trying to do something to have fun. We're hoping we want you to have that fun. We want you to have that fun safely. It was a perfect mesh.
Thank you.
What we need to be. There's a few people on that next door thing that get that, I think,
Yeah.
That for us to survive physically, we also have to survive mentally.
Absolutely.
Okay? And we can't do that by being,
yeah,
I'll wear a mask. We got to do that. That's a safety thing.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be safe. We need to be smart. We need to be considerate. But let's do what we can. What can't we do? It was a little warm. I just noticed that.
Yeah. I got you.
And then
spare no expense.
Lavish.
Yes. I just realized I was like, oh yeah, I'm not pushing any air.
It's so funny. It's just the last minute.
Yeah. Yeah, we start talking about this and it gets warm.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's I dropped off of Nextdoor is the first social media that I've actually engaged with in the last few years. I think it was 2016 around the election cycle. At that time, it was just it seemed so.
Has it been around that long? Next door?
Nextdoor? No. I've only been on Nextdoor since I moved here. I used it as a way to try to like see what's going on in the neighborhood.
I got you.
And I found out about that. I think I've been on here since 2018 or something like that. But like Facebook was the one I was really on, and I just dropped off. And so I haven't been on Facebook in years. I keep an account on there so I have like a page for my band. I have a page for our medical practice.
Yeah, I've seen
you know,
your stuff.
and I put the I keep the band page. That's where I do the Facebook Live for the Smile Jam on Fridays, and I post it from my own band's page just so I have a place to put it from. And the way I've described it to people is like the first like social media really was just like people coming in standing on soapboxes in the center of town and crying out the news, right? Town crier. And then you got to print version, and you got newspapers. And at least this was a curated form of news done by professionals who were trying to report factually, and until about 30 years ago, actually had a mandate to report factually.
And we all read the same news.
Right. And then the Truth in Reporting Act goes away, and those things start to erode over time, and it becomes an entertainment piece for the most part. And then in comes social media, and if anything, I think it's anything but. I think social media is kind of a lot of times kind of selfish media. It's like, here's my point of view, blah, read it. I'm going to go play tennis or something.
I am so safe because I can just write something,
right,
and get away with it, and not really. Yeah, my name's there, but you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, it's not the topic of
no.
For
but
right
I think here's the issue. You're talking about 1,000 tales,
right?
We have to work so hard to keep that from being the main thrust of our lives, especially now when we don't have much physical or quote unquote real activities to do. We really have to focus on making sure that doesn't become what's reality.
Absolutely.
And things like watching a band play in a garage and going to see the grandkids or inviting the neighborhood kids over to play with the chickens or whatever, that's reality. That's, and I'm not trying to say that it's sweet and nice or any of those kinds of things. I'm just saying that we got to keep from trying to realize that that's not real life. And it's become less and less, and our political views or everything else become more and more divorced from human, normal modes of human interaction that it's something we need to be very, very careful with. I love using it. I call myself the revolutionary moderate, Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I try to be Mr. Big Moderate for all the weird things that are being said and going on. But I just it's things like this that are gonna bring us back. I don't know how you plan on doing it, and it's intriguing to me how all this going to work, and I'm sure when you get more people in, it's going to come.
This has the podcast?
Yeah. It's going to make more sense. But I hope, if nothing else, it makes us realize that you're just a nice human guy, and I'm just a nice human guy.
Absolutely.
Regardless of where I grew up, regardless of what my beliefs are, regardless of any of that stuff. When you sit across from somebody, when you have a drink with somebody, when you talk about family, and you're opening up, you're giving of yourself, good things, real things, instead of
right.
I'm just going to say this on some social media site, and the hell with him, I know what he's going to say,
Right. Yeah, people are so self-assured when they have their anonymity, right?
You seem to be, a relative open-minded type of person. Not.
I strive for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
that's-
have tattooed on my elbow, travel is fate.